will say execute SQL.
It's always important to make sure that you're checking where you're connected to before you start executing. Because sometimes you might be doing something that you were on your source, and you click, and then you'll be looking for it in your target environment. It's like, wow, I know I ran this. So it's always good. I know he said connect to your database, but make sure that you're conscious of what environment that you're connecting to. Okay.
Cool. All right. So now that we know that our SQL is good, we execute SQL file, right? All right. So it should be in my table. In my database. I can go back to double check. Target. Delivery. Amazing, you have to remember that when you did yours, you called it delivery _1, right? So that's what it's going to name it once it creates it here. Right? And I can see that it's in there. So I am good, right? It's in there, there's nothing in there, which we expect, right? Okay. So we are good here. I can close this, I can save, and I am good for now. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So now comes the easy part, right? Yes?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, great. Kiki, good. You fell for it. She fell for it.
I did.
Yeah. Alright, so now comes the easy part. Okay. So now we have to start thinking through this, right? Okay. So these are the columns that we need, right? So we can make life easy for ourselves, right? We can actually bring in orders. And we can bring in orders, and we can bring in
order items,
right?
Yeah, I did that.
So now we have both. So we can actually look side by side and be like, okay, so what exactly do I need here, right?
Right.
Okay. And I can bring in my target table as well, which is what? Delivery. So this will tell me what's already available in my source, right? And what is in my target, and what exactly I need, right? Okay. So, for sure, we need order ID. Order ID exists on both sides, right?
Yes.
So right now we're still at square one, right? Because we can choose from either or, right? Now the second thing we need is delivery date, right? Which is a formula, right? To get the delivery date, right? So it's something that we derive. It's not something that's given to us, right? It doesn't exist right yet. So something that we have to derive, right? Okay, so we have delivery date, which we said is what? Date promised minus date entered, right? So both of those exist where? In the orders, right? It doesn't exist in order items. So it's looking like I'm shifting more towards my orders right now, right? I can also look at discount rate, right? The discount rate is what? Discount multiplied by sales tax rate, right? So I see my sales tax rate in my orders, but I see my discount in my order items, right? So this tells me that I kind of need both, right? Can't just use one, I need both, right? So let's do this. Right? So first of all, we know that there's some calculations that we need, right? Not aggregations. We do need aggregations for the max minute average. There's some calculation that's needed, right? Which is what? To get the delivery date and to get the discount, right? So what transformation do I need? Huh? No, but what's the name of the transformation? That's great.
Expression.
Thank you. Right? So I know that that's the transformation that I need to do a calculation, right?
change
So,
out the expression
I
function.
just take my expression and put it right here. Right? Okay. Now, a couple of key things, right? This, what I'm doing right now will work because there's already a relationship between my orders and order items, right? So, since there's a primary key here, primary key here, I can just pick from here. I can pick order ID from here, right?
Right.
Because I'm eventually going to need that in my target table, right? Now I can pick date entered, date promised. We good so far?
Yes.
Right? Because I said date promised minus date entered, right? I need my discount. Discount is coming from here, right? I see. Okay. Alright. So, this is a little trick that we're going to be doing here, right? Yeah, so you probably ran into this issue, right? Okay, so what we do here is we can actually delete one of these. Okay. Delete. Delete's not working on delete. Okay. Now I can take everything I need. Right? I don't need this. I just need these. Actually, I need everything here. And then I can bring them in here. Right? So I have everything coming from both sides. In here, right?
Oh, turn one, you combine them both together?
Yes.
Because
Right?
the ones that already had the things you needed, you just didn't add those and just added the sales tax.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why, like, you saw that when I dragged it from the one below, it didn't drag here, right?
Because it's not
Because
connected.
really, you can only drag items from one transformation into the next transformation, right? And then there's something I'm going to tell you, right? There's something called a passive transformation and an active transformation, right? Now, this is 100% an interview question that I'm telling you right now. 100%, right? They're going to ask you, what's a passive transformation and what's an active transformation, right? 100% interview questions. And as we go along, I'm going to point out interview questions, right, that are going to come up. The ones that are 100%, right? You probably hit this interview question 90% of the times that you go for an interview, right? Okay, so passive transformation, right, is a transformation that doesn't change the number of rows when it goes through. And I'll explain that further. An active transformation changes the number of rows when it passes through that transformation, right? So now, if we think about something like a filter, for example, right? If I push things into a filter, which is almost like a where clause, right? And I'm saying, I have 100 names and I say, oh, I want where first name equals Michael, right? And there are 15 Michaels, right? 100 names came into the filter, but based on the requirement, it's only 15 that come out. That is an active transformation. That is active, right? Because I've reduced the number of rows from what came in to what went out. A passive transformation is if I have 100 rows, right? And the 100 still comes out. And an example will be like an expression, right? I have all these coming in, and then I calculate like a discount rate, for example, right? If you think about it, discount rate is just a formula, right? So if the 100 rows come in, it's still the same 100 rows that goes out, right? Think about it. Okay, so I have my order ID. So the thing is, the expression will not reduce the number of rows, right? It might be maybe one more if you're generating something within here, but it will not reduce the number of rows. Does that make sense? Remember when I said filter is an example?